Hey, g'day guys. Give me 1 second. I'm just waiting for our super special guest to come on board. Yes, it's Wednesday. Something a little bit different, but we're looking to make the change to a Wednesday. Here we go. There he
Hey.
is. Hey, Cammy. Oh, look, Matty Hayter's just signed on.
Oh,
Doesn't miss a dot, that guy. Um, I was just saying it's Wednesday, a bit of a difference, a bit of a change up. We're changing. Obviously, Wednesday makes it a little bit more accessible for both of us to get online and a bit easier for Dave in the future. So we'll be shifting to a Wednesday. But on to tonight's topic, professional integrity, something I think is not spoken about enough. Um,
hey
my,
guys.
oh, look at that. Hey,
Oh,
guys.
Louis as well.
So my big thing is, first question off the bat, what's worse? Like, and I say this to the students that come through the clinic with me is it over treating or under treating worse? So have a think about that. You've got a question as well, Cammy.
Yeah, I guess following on from that as well is, um, overtreating or undertreating, but then what do the other health professionals think of us? Think of podiatry as a whole. So we're going to
What do
touch
you think
base
when
on
you
these
first
ones.
hear that? Yeah, what do you think of that when you hear that? Like, what does someone else think? So I think that's going to be a really good one to touch base with. Hey.
Absolutely. So have a bit of a think about that, guys. We'll come back to our opinions on that a bit later on. But I think Scotty has a bit of admin stuff as
Yeah,
well.
little bit of admin, guys. Uh, we have just finalised two of our three courses coming up over the next 3 months. We've knocked them together pretty quickly in the form of timeline, but that's just when the speakers are available. So first one, obviously, we've got coming up on the 16th of June is Matty Bourne, Dr. Matt Bourne, in fact. And I actually went to school with Matt Bourne, but he's also one of the leading researchers and sports scientists in hamstring world. Developed the NORBOARD. Said this all last time. Great guy. It's going to be a great session, a little education session, and then you're going to get some hands-on stuff you're going to be able to take clinically and start engaging with your patients. And even if you're engaging it and then referring it on to a physio, super, super important. Our next one, Cami, you've organised our next one, which is a running assessment. What do you got?
Yeah, so we got it's late July, so I think it's Saturday 21st of July. We've got a lady who's very kindly coming down from Townsville, actually. Over 20 years experience between podiatry and some public health. Runs her own running podiatry clinic up there. So she's going to come down, have a bit of a chat to everyone, analysing running gait. Um, is that you, Scotty, making noise?
Oh, mate, it's the motorbike coming down the street. It's a beast.
Um, yeah, look, analyzing running gait, looking at a lot of those common issues, and then ways to really tweak them apart from just what we normally do, chucking some orthotics in, but having a look at those cues we can give our patients, and I reckon it's going to be a really, really good course.
Yeah, really, really practical is what we're aiming for, and we've had a bit of brief chat with, and it's she's been running a clinic up in Townsville which only deals with the runners, so like she's got to have all the
She
chips in the
knows,
bag surely after
she
10 years.
knows her stuff, absolutely.
Yeah. So that will be a really, really good one, really good practical session. So I don't know why anyone wouldn't be keen to get involved with that one. So that should be a ripper. So yeah, late July, and then we've got organised Dean Lawler, who's a physio and exercise physiologist, to come in August. I think it's 16th of August was the date we were discussing, and I think we semi-locked in. And he'll be doing a knee assessment. So, like I said the other day, Dylan knocked up that there's one going on in Western Australia by someone similar. So we've sourced out and got Dean to do that one for us. So looking forward to all those things. Really excited. Really, we've done a little bit of tasting, so really excited to hear anyone's feedback, like anyone's opinion on those topics, if they think they're no good or whatever, or what we're doing. Obviously, I'll be in the tonight I'll actually be posting the Eventbrite links onto the page. So get amongst it, guys. The more you guys support us, the more we can bring to you guys. Bigger announcement as of today, we're almost at 300 people. What are we, 298? 298? Yep, 298.
298, getting close.
So right now, anyone who's online, we've got 8 people. Jump out there, get a friend to join the page. 300 there. Obviously, we're running a little bit of a sponsorship sort of thing. We're going to give a rock taping course away. And every time you get someone to join up and they notify that you were the person who referred them, you'll go into the draw for that. So we'll be drawing that at the end of next month. So a little bit of a run.
As well as that, we've got our YouTube as well, guys. So we're going to be starting to put a few more videos up there. So if you subscribe, that's another entry into the draw. So jump on there too.
Yeah, and the YouTube's called Pod TV. Highly recommend you guys join and subscribe. When you subscribe, obviously, it's going to indicate when you do it. You don't have to subscribe to use it, but we're looking to obviously put all these videos up there. So that's where they'll be sourced. We won't keep them on the Facebook page to keep it a bit cleaner. And also the really cool thing is we're going to start doing some exercises there that are really simple, ways that you can prescribe them to patients. So quick, short videos that bang for buck. So really, really exciting. So I guess it's over to the topic, hey?
Mate, I'm keen.
Let's do it. So obviously my question is, what do you guys think? Like, I want to see some comments. Is it better to overtreat or undertreat? Like, just black and white, overtreat or undertreat. What's going to be better for a patient? So I want to see some comments through while we proceed through this stuff. But let's tap on the first thing that obviously is a really, I guess I don't want to say it's controversial, which it's not controversial. I guess it makes some people boil up a bit, but orthotic prescription and, prescribing orthotics. So let's talk about a bit of ethical stuff around that, I guess, for those new grads. What do you reckon, Cammy?
Look, I mean, I think all of us in this group would have seen that Sydney Morning Herald article, a few weeks back. Basically,
not the first.
No, unfortunately not. But basically just ripping into podiatry, ripping into orthotics in general. And look, honestly, it paints the profession in a pretty, puts us in a pretty bad light, really. And as they said in the article, it's a few bad apples spoiling the bunch. But look, I don't know about that.
Well, I was going to say,
I pulled minority.
Yeah, and then there's a minority, and then it said, I pulled that two quotes. Like, what one quote was from the podiatrist interviewed, and I've got it up on the screen here, and it was, it's one of those things. The minority is going to wreck it for the majority. There's always those people who you walk in with a toe infection and you walk out with a custom orthotic. I'm sure most of us have heard that statement before. And then, the other thing, the first sentence on that article was, the one that I pulled off the internet, which was dated only recently, was plantar fasciitis can turn a marathon runner into a hobbler overnight with almost no warning. Mate, the guy has no idea what he's talking about, kind of thing. Like, we all know it's got an insidious. Like, yes, it can come on very quickly, but if you go and read the article, you'll see there's a whole lot of gaps. So, my opinion, like you, Cammy, not something we should be worried about.
Honestly, I don't think so. But the big issue is obviously, people do read these. Patients read these, other allied health professionals read these. And I think that everyone in this group is either an allied health professional or you're about to be. You're about to graduate or you're working out there. And I think that comes with some responsibilities that we really need to take quite seriously. This professional integrity is a real thing. And, we all know of certain professions that probably aren't held, people don't take them quite so seriously because, sometimes that integrity is not there. And honestly, podiatry, we have some very strong foundations, so I don't want to see that sort of stuff happening to us.
Yeah, don't be that minority. It's fine. We're not judging. We're not pointing any fingers on anyone. Don't take us that way. We're just talking to, especially the new grads. It is happening out there. Like, we're not going to deny that. But what we want you to know is, as long as internally you are doing the right thing by the patient, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with being scared and prescribing that type of thing. And I guess that's why I want to talk about orthotic prescription. Is in the case of it, yes, evidence-based practice has low evidence, but the evidence and the article once again states that you just wouldn't do it by itself. I think that's the big point out of this is, don't just plonk an orthotic under someone, take it to the next tier, give them stretching, give them strengthening, do some release, dry needle them. What else can we tape them?
Get them in some decent shoes.
Yeah, get them decent. Send them off to your physio. Get a physio in the books. Like, I think that's the problem is if you just give them one thing. If you go to any health practitioner, I'm not picking on physios, but I'll use a physio, and they just strap your shoulder, which is sore, and like, okay, see you later. Value, probably not the greatest, hey? Like, what do you reckon, Cammy?
Oh, look, it's not going to treat you long term, is it? And that's the trouble.
No. Mm.
Realistically, though, guys, everyone's had that patient that walks in and you don't know what's going on. You think that maybe there's some biomechanics going in there, but honestly, you're not sure. And if
Mm.
you are flipping some orthotics because you think maybe it'll work, or you have no idea and you're just praying, or because it's getting towards the end of the month and you need to hit your bonus, whatever it might be, then you need to, you really need to take a look at yourself, because we need to
Well,
hold
just
ourselves to a really high level, guys. Like
hold yourself
that's
accountable. Accountable.
that's exactly right. Yeah, you need to be able to walk out of that room and know that you gave that patient everything that you have. You need
Yeah.
to be able to justify clinically to yourself, but also to, if anyone gets audited or anything else like that, you need to be able to say 100% this is what that patient needed and this is why. So,
Yeah. So definitely, for everyone, like we need professional integrity, and every time you do the lazy thing, or lazy, I guess is a good way to put it. You do the lazy
yeah, for
option.
sure.
You put the whole profession in the target, in the crosshairs. So really, really think about that and make sure, because this guy's probably written this article. It's not the first time Sydney Morning Herald's written something nasty about us. It's the first time he's probably just heard it from a friend, and that's probably what it was. A mate probably said, "I went to podiatrist and I spent all this money and nothing happened." It's the same in any profession. If I went to my nail place and got my nails painted and they didn't paint one of my nails, I'd be pissed off.
Well, they didn't
That's your
have
experience,
your
right? That was
favorite.
your example. That was
Mate,
your
they didn't
example,
have your
wasn't
favorite hot pink, eh?
it? Mate, I'm a lime green type of guy. So prescription, orthotic prescription. Don't be scared of it, but don't do it in itself. Don't make it the only thing you give someone. I'll see you in 10 days and a bit of strapping. Like, you've got to make sure that they're like, holy crap, I went to this guy or this young lady and they were just amazing. They're smart and they gave me all this stuff, and you've impressioned on them massively, because that will lift your professional integrity. And I mean, you're not doing it for a marketing thing. You do it because you love what you do, and that's what we need to do there. So, orthotic
But
prescription, I think we've covered.
it's not
Yeah.
only that. I mean, our whole business is helping people. You need to make sure that you are doing all you can to get that person where they need to be, whether it's back running, whether it's playing whatever sport they want, whether it's just being able to walk around and not be in pain. You need to know that you gave them everything and you didn't just chuck something in their shoes because you weren't quite sure what else to do.
Yeah, well, it's 2 videos I've already done. Is the self-evaluation, looking back at why you prescribed some orthotics, and maybe look at the ones you weren't so sure about what you did, whether you should have or you shouldn't have, that over or under treating. But also connecting with your patient, making sure your patient's comfortable with what you're doing and you're setting the goals they want. So think about that, guys. I think we can leave that topic. I don't want to get too fiery about it, but I'm not fiery because I'm putting the finger out there. I think I'm fiery because I'm passionate about what I do. And I think it's the same with you, Cam, and that's why you brought this topic up. We don't want to see people pulling the rest of us down, and I don't think people are doing it on purpose. It's sometimes just complacency, or unfortunately, as you said, school bell syndrome. So the next topic we're talking about, and I think this is a big one. Oh, here we go. Maddie Haters just poked something up. Oh,
Matty, that's absolutely true, mate. It is.
Maddie said, if you only prescribe orthotics when there are high level evidence that it will work, many patients will miss out on the treatment that will help them live better. And that's what I was saying, Maddie, and I agree. And it's not about one; it's about that. It's all those little things that build up. How many little bricks made up those pyramids in Giza and stuff.
But at the same time as well,
Terrible
even
analogy.
though we don't, that was terrible. Even though we don't have high level evidence for orthotics for a lot of conditions, I mean, clinically, we have probably seen you've given orthotics for a certain condition and that patient has improved. Clinically, you've got that knowledge, or you've seen it work somewhere else, or you didn't just give them that orthotic, you also gave them some stretches or gave them some exercise or something like that.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
well, you've got the power to treatment directed test. So if you're not sure, test them out and see what happens. There's heaps of people
strap them up, make sure that they come back feeling even a little better.
Do some strengthening, yeah, and then see how you go in that. So we've got the power. So what Maddie said, I think, is a really good point, and I think it's right. We've got the power to suss it out. If you're not sure, suss it out. It doesn't mean you have to prescribe it right there and then. It might be something that comes in later. It might be something you try conservative and fails, but then don't be scared to go and do that. So that's pretty cool.
100%.
One big one I really want to touch on is booking reviews. You should be following a patient to the complete circle of treatment. I've just spoken to a couple of business owners recently, and I asked them, what is the one thing new grads are missing? And one of the big ones that came out was a complete circle of treatment. A lot of the students don't come out and see the start of the treatment cycle. So when someone appears to the stake at the end, and everyone who's been at QT, because that's obviously where we went, we could agree with that. Don't you reckon, Cammy?
Oh, you never see the same person twice. That's the trouble, isn't it?
And they're improving on that. I know they're actively trying to work on that. But I think the big thing is we need to close that circle. So you need to keep rebooking these people. And you might go, oh, but it's costing them money. It is. You're providing a service. Any service costs money. This should never be a dictation point.
Absolutely. I think the point with that is that you need to be making sure that you're giving them value for money. If you're just bringing a patient in and whipping their athletics out of their shoes, have a quick check of the cover,
give them a quick rub down the calves.
Send them on their way, then, you can't justify that money. But if you're putting them through their exercises, you're, needling them, you're stretching them, you're whatevering them, it's value for money, and you're actually getting them where they need to be.
Well, I think the easiest way to look at that is if you have a half an hour appointment, use the full half an hour.
Yep.
You're not going to just sit there and look at the stars on the ceiling for that half an hour. You're going to be trying to actively do stuff, and that's a really good driving point there. So, good tip there. So I just think booking people's reviews and making sure you see them completely healed. Don't leave them go at 80%. Go, I think you'll be fine. Make sure you see them through the whole cycle, because that will make you a better podiatrist.
See him in 6 months' time, make sure that pain has resolved, whatever it might be. But I think the biggest thing, we don't want to just send people off into the wilderness, oh, yeah, you're pretty much better. And either they go to an other allied health, or they just don't get better, and then they come back ripping on us, and that's the issue.
Well, they go off to another health professional 3 months later, and you're seeing them 6 months maybe, but or between your visit, you've misjudged the time, and they come back and the physio goes, what the hell? They just gave you orthotics. They didn't give you the eccentric loading for your Achilles and everything like that. You look like a bit of you've missed the mark. Yeah, you've missed the mark. Bit of a goose. So, if you use that full time, you can't question, and you make sure you're always rebooking people. And look, I'm a bottom line type of guy. It's good for business. It's good for business to follow up with people, and you get that quality of care and continuity of care in your business and personally. So, rebooking, super important. That is the other point I was going to make. The other point I got from those business owners is new grads suck at rebooking. Sorry, guys, but I sucked at it. Cam, you still suck at it. I know you do. Nah, I'm joking.
Sometimes.
But, exactly. Everyone probably misses those sometimes. You need to make sure you're rebooking them for their quality outcomes. So please, rebook. So
if you have access to it in your room as well, guys, rebook them there and then. You find that time.
Personal touch, love it.
Yeah, 100%. If you have that, if you have that, rather than sending them out, just see the receptionist on the way out. Walk them out to the front, get them booked in for that appointment. Make sure that patient knows you actually care about them. They know that you're there for them, that you're going to help them get to where they need to be. Like, at the end of the day, that's all that they're coming to you for, to get fixed, right? So
yeah, don't dump and run. Don't dump and run. Your receptionist's not going to ask those questions and things like that. So make sure that all the questions are asked, you close the circle of treatment, and you make sure you're doing those rebooks for the best quality outcome. So super, super important stuff. Great tips, I think. I'm sure anyone who's in a position will be like, yeah, that is a good tip for a new graduate if I was going to write down 5 or 10 tips for them. Let's get back to overtreat, undertreat, as just before we hit the final question. So is it better to overtreat or undertreat? Cammy, what's your opinion?
Mate, absolutely better to overtreat, as long as you're providing value for money.
Yeah,
I think that's the critical point.
Yeah, I think overtreating is never going to be wrong as long as you are justifying your actions as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to justify it, and obviously we know that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to justify it. And we're not even talking, like when we say that comment, everyone goes orthotics. I'm not talking orthotics. What's wrong with taping someone and then getting them back once a week for 4 weeks, taping because they've got really chronic plantar fasciitis? Now, you might say there's other options, but that might be the best option for them. What's wrong with taping them, needling them, myofascial release, and doing strength? Like, you could argue, that's overprescribing. You give them 7 things. How are you going to tell what worked? Who cares if it fixes them? So don't take I think it's the school bell syndrome to undertreat. Is it's like, it's Friday. I've got drinks at the pub.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm out. It's 5 to 3. I have to go through these eccentric exercises. I'm going to have to take 5 minutes. Bit eject. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Take that extra 5 minutes. We're professionals. My old man's a teacher at one of the big private schools up here in Brisbane. He's been there for nearly 30 years now. God. And one of the things he told me when I first graduated, he said, "You're a professional now. Even though you're paid for 38 hours, that shouldn't be what you're intending to work. You stay there till the job's done." I mean, I'm not saying my old man's a wise old Gandalf. He's got some serious greys, but
he's better
that's
than
probably
you.
Yeah, but exactly
Yeah.
right. But I think it was a really noble thing to say, and he's right. He's bloody right. Don't expect to work 30 hours. Don't expect at lunch to cut off and be able to just sit there and look at the stars. You should do things. I know we all do, but take that extra 5 minutes. So let's get into the big bopper. This is Cammy's. This is all yours, mate. What are other health professionals? What?
Yeah.
I mean, no one's given us any comments, but if you do, you recently engaged some other health professionals that
That's
you work
it.
around and
Yeah.
stuff. What have they said?
Chatting to a couple of people. Look, the perception's not always great about podiatrists. We'll be honest with that. You know, some of them do think we just flip orthotics. Some of them think, you know, basically like that article was, you know, that someone comes in for an ingrown now, we flip them some orthotics. Like, you know, we all know that that's ridiculous, but at the end of the day, we need to work to change those perceptions. So provided that you're holding yourself to a higher standard, guys, communicate. You know, if you have a local physio and you refer the patient back, write them a letter. Write them a decent letter. You know, don't just say, here's such and such, they have this, and that's it. You know, write to them what's happened, what you've done for them, what you've been going through. Build those relationships, you know, that's the biggest thing. Make them know that as a profession, podiatry actually knows what's going on. So I reckon that's what's most important.
Yeah, and I think that streams down from what we've been saying is don't just give them a pair of orthotics. Give them a little bit of, you know, give them a wall sit to work on their quad, their patella tendinopathy, but you're like, I'm not really confident with this, but I'll refer you to John Smith, my physio, and he'll take care of it. But John Smith goes, God, Cam is good value. He's got Robbo. He's got him already doing some work, and he's come to me loaded and ready to go because he's had benefit from those couple of things. And now I'm going to run with this guy and make a big difference.
Just a real super quick example. I had a young boy in the other day, and our orthotic fit took like 5 minutes of our half hour. Like, slipped into the shoes like a dream. Patient loved them. Not a drama. The rest of the 25 minutes, we worked on some strength training. We worked on, got a TheraBand out, did some, you know, monster walks, trying to activate those glutes, trying to get some single leg stuff in. He went and saw the physio after, and the physio came to see me, and they go, "Hey, what have you done to me? There's nothing left for me to do." But that's not a bad thing, you know. That just shows that you actually know what's going on, and that should be, you know. He could progress that patient as well, you know, and that was the whole thing. He could progress that patient further now, and that's, guys, we need to be able to do that. You know, I'm not saying you want to be stealing their jobs, but you need to know a little bit of everything. I reckon you need to know 100% about podiatry, but you need to know a little bit of everything. I reckon that's
and that's such a valuable point. You've got to do that little bit extra to get it more. And I mean, that's a bit of a funny one because, as you said, you haven't stolen his work, but you're you know, you haven't left him anything, but that's not a bad sign. It means you've done everything already. Yeah, I guess it makes it a little bit awkward at his end, but as I said, you wouldn't go, "I'll come back to me for all these exercises." You'd go, "Okay, now keep seeing John Smith, the physio, and he'll follow up with your exercises, and I'll review here." Now, you can if you want. Like, I'm not disagreeing with that, but if you have that network, it's so valuable to use.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I reckon, I mean, guys, for the most part, now we want to just state right from the start, no one's criticizing anyone. We don't want to be making it seem like we're having a dig at anyone. But as a profession, we just need to be 100%. We need to be making sure that we're looking after each other, we're looking after our patients, and we're doing everything we can for them. And it's not just for the bottom dollar. Of course, we need to get paid. Everyone needs to get paid. But your primary focus should be on that patient and getting them better. So
if you do good work, you'll get the outcomes. Good work will
100%.
lead to a good outcome. So 100% for everyone, and I mean particularly as new grads, rebooking. Make sure you're rebooking and closing the circle of treatment. So you see the full cycle of treatment from end to finish, or start to finish. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, start to finish, because that is so important, and it's something that you most likely at most universities won't get to encounter. And then refer. We're going to do a little bit more work with some physios and EPs and stuff like that about how you guys can better your skills with referring, so there's not those awkward moments, or you've got that physio down the road that doesn't believe in podiatry, and you can flip them. You know, that they'll understand that you're not just the stereotypical sort of podiatrist that's, you know, that's made by this mainstream Sydney Morning Herald articles. Who reads that? Is that even a newspaper? Like,
No, I've never seen it in my life.
Never seen it, mate. A Batuta Advocate any day. So super important stuff, guys. That we do strive that, and I'll even step away for a moment. But, you know, sit on a state committee. We talk about things, and, you know, I'm sure in the future this is something that will come up about how do we maintain our highest level of thing, and that is what this whole national movement is about. So super cool stuff at all angles, but if we do it at the base level, we're supporting all the top level stuff, and things like prescribing rights which we've fallen into, but then onto the PBS and onto that. We don't want to be those minorities that screw that up. We want to be the majorities that are just...
They're going to be trustworthy.
So that's what I mean. We want to make sure that the public trusts us.
That's it.
Otherwise,
all right, guys. That's pretty much it, really. But one last thing, one big thing.
Oh, you got one.
Get your friends into this group, guys. They should be seeing everything. We want to grow this group as big as possible. You know, all your pod friends, all your pod student friends, everyone that you know that's going to be interested in that sort of stuff. Make sure you get them in here.
Yeah, we've got share them on any pages of ours. I was looking over where people are located. We've got 8 people in the UK on the page. It's pretty cool. I know we haven't been as strong in the southern states, but if you guys are in the southern states, please share us on the pages. Reach out to us. We'd really love to connect with the university so we can actually source directly with people being aware of the page. So when the students are there, they just share the page and it just keeps revolving that way, because we're hoping we're providing really good content that's beneficial, and you know, we're trying to build a community. So looking forward to doing the workshops. 3 great workshops: hamstrings, running, and then there'll be a knee assessment workshop. Yeah, you know, we did a little poll. Good return. Unfortunately, it is in Brisbane because obviously we're located here. But as I said, if we can get those numbers in the other states, there's no reason why we can't do some road trips. Yeah, guys. And if you're in another state and you want to start organised stuff, call me. We've got people everywhere. We've got people who we can contact and work with to find someone or source some situation. Awesome. Have a great evening.
If you guys got any questions, don't forget, you know, you go, mate.
No, I was going to say, next week, State of Origin on a Wednesday. So Pod TV is going to be on a Wednesday officially from now on. It is easier for us. Yeah, I've been, you know, we all know I run a little tiny bit late because I'm belting home from work and stuff. Wednesday evenings, 7:30 still. We'll still run. We might start at 7:15 next week, guys. Just keep an eye out. But, you know, you can always watch it in replay on the YouTube channel. So subscribe to that. Get your friends on. Let's just grow this bastard. And then the more we grow it, the more we become.
You know,
any
hit
topics.
Us up. If you just want to throw banter about Scotty's moustache, don't hesitate. Throw some chat.
Just because he said something about it, Cam lost to me in fantasy this week. Cam was top of the table. I'm the worst of worst. And now Cam has to eat a California Reaper chili. And that's his own doing. He put that bet out there. So I'll make sure I post that video. No, maybe not, but YouTube just.
Maybe, perhaps.
Awesome, guys. You guys have a great
night.
I'll see you guys next week.
Hey, bye.